So we did a review on the Amazing Digital Circus, probably Glitch's #1 series, and we have finally decided to give their other big major series a chance. Everybody likes, even possibly more than the Amazing Digital Circus, Murder Drones. And all I can say is after we watched it, absolute cinema. So today,
peek at the end.
We're gonna give our reactions, our thoughts on it, and our ratings of the show. But with all that out of the way, let's get started. We gave our thoughts on the Amazing Digital Circus. Overall, I thought the entire show was good. Like, we gave it like an 8.5, finale like an 8 out of 10. I mean, I think it is Glitch's probably #1 show. I thought that was. We finally gave a chance to watch Murder Drones. This was a show that they released years before it and actually ended like even before the Amazing Digital Circus started. I will say I watched the first couple episodes. I watched the first 3 by myself, and then you finally got caught up, and then we watched the rest of the season with each other.
Yeah.
I told you at the very beginning, the first 3 episodes, I was like, it's okay. I was like, there was some cool fight scenes and stuff. So I say fight scenes, but okay, I have to make this clear first. These are 2 completely different styles of series. One is your more like mystery storytelling type. I know that's the Amazing Digital Circus, and Murder Drones, yes, is still a story, but it's your more adrenaline, horror, action-packed, like a series. So it's more adrenaline rushing, more.
There's a lot more going on in Murder Drones than there is in the Digital Circus. I mean, actually, I'll take that back. I think there's a lot more going on at once compared to the Digital Circus, because the Digital Circus, I mean, I can't remember if I mentioned this in our video with that. I said that the pacing was good and how, they were handling the story till the end. I think this one is just more fast-paced, like you said, more adrenaline-based, where it's just like, you just keep on watching pretty much.
It's pretty much fast. It's fast-paced all the way through, but the first 3 is like kind of slow, but so when we got to the 4th episode, I told you, because I watched the whole season before you did, but I decided to go back through it and watch it with you.
Right.
Just so we can have like a better, just clear reaction to it, and honestly, like more refresh, because sometimes when you watch a series, you got to watch it more than just one time through.
And there was moments where I was like, okay, hold on, what's going on here? Like, okay, I had to ask you a couple of times, because because with this show, it's like if you miss a certain detail in the show, you're lost.
This one, honestly, Murder Drones is a lot more confusing than the Digital Circus, in my opinion. It's so fast.
It's more complex.
Yes, you don't understand what's going on, and honestly, if you really want to get a deep dive on it, you would have to go onto YouTube and look at the timeline and what everything actually means, because before this video, I actually had to do that. Before we did our rewatch through, I'm like, hey, great series, but I'm like, I have no idea, like, a lot of the stuff that went on.
Right.
But I will say, though, I told you before starting the series, I was like, the first 3 episodes are like, they're slow, okay, they're kind of cool. Man, but starting at the 4th episode going all the way through the 8th, I'm like, it ramps up.
I think it definitely ramps up. I say at least midway through episode 4.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It kind of, that's, things start to pick up middle of that episode, and then it's all hands on deck for the rest of the season.
You're on a roller coaster, man. I mean, like, straight, you're going down the Titan at Six Flags at full speed.
There's a lot of story going on. Once.
So now let's do a deep dive into the show. I thought the action-packed scenes were crazy in this. I'm going to go ahead and give the hot take here. I don't know if it's so much of a hot take. I think the Amazing Digital Circus is a really good show. I think Murder Drones is just right above it, though.
And it's just a preference thing. Like, I mean, I have no issues with both shows. I actually have a lot of interest and how the story is told in both shows. Like, I love action movies, but I also like a good story, and that's what the Digital Circus is.
It's hard to compare. Like I said, they're 2 separate literally categories.
Yeah.
Action-packed thriller, one deep story that's like kind of like a mystery of some sort.
Yeah.
First 3 episodes, though, it's slow. You're finally get to understand the characters and then what supposedly the bad characters are, but you realize later on down the road that it was actually one person that was in charge of everything. And actually, all the humans in this one, it's called Murder Drones because all the main characters are actually robots in this. But it's weird because they're robots, but they all act like humans, and they all have human. They're basically like their humans just like covered like up by metal. If you want, weird comparison, but it's basically
they
like
have,
that.
I guess, is that what you call it, human organics, or like
It's like they got like a real heart and everything. So
Yeah.
it's weird. And also too, another weird thing, they're basically outside of the like builder drones, if you want to call them that, they're just the regular construction drones in this. I was gonna say they're not immortal, but shoot, the other ones, like give example, like Uzi, the main character in this one, and the other main character, then you got VJ, then Sin, the actual villain in this one, the villain in the show. Dude, they're like all like almost immortal, basically.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, I mean, Sin was literally just a human being, like it's a dead human being with a robot taking over the body, pretty much.
It would take a long time to actually explain everything in this. But like I said, first 3 episodes are slow. 4th one, you really kick it up a notch. And I will say, ever since the 4th one on, it's just nothing but action-packed fight scenes, fast-paced. And of course, like I told you before watching this, it's straight horror moments. Just they love to farm horror moments in like the second half of the show, especially the finale. I told you, I think the finale of Murder Drones beats out.
It gives a lot of
Circus.
Dramatic, like your dramatic moments in the movie. And I mean, and like you said, like, you know, the movie, I said, meant show, but like you said, in, you know, whenever they were having those, you know, those aura moments, like especially in those fight scenes,
they just wanted to like farm them like every like 10 seconds. It was like, especially the like Sin though. Dude, I'm just saying, overpowered. I mean, good gosh. The biggest thing in the show, because there is humans in this, but they all end up dying because Sin is, it's kind of weird because Sin is like a robot like them, but she, or if you want to call it, I guess you want to call it a she because it betrays. She basically gets corrupted by, like you saw like that videotape, like zombie drones, whatever, but it's like a virus corrupted. And it's the main thing that does is called the sulfur, whatever. It's hard to get into detail of it. Like I said, you'll have to go check out the research on yourself. It's hard to explain, but it basically like it corrupts that. And then Uzi, the main character, her dad is obsessed with doors in this, which is kind of weird, because they're all living in
pretty much in an enclosed area.
They're living in like a dome, if you want, or like protection wise.
Yeah,
because of all the murder drones that you don't realize you thought the humans sent out to like destroy everything, and this realized that they're not even on Earth at this point. Actually, you're on a whole nother planet.
Yeah, a whole nother planet.
But you realize that Sin was actually the one behind everything because she actually ended up killing all the humans. And then you see like Tessa in it, that when Sin showed her true form in the second to last episode, it was actually, what's her name? Tessa. That was her name.
Yeah.
All the humans and stuff end up dying, and there's none left.
Yeah.
But Sin actually takes over Tessa, but she's also robot, but human at the same time, which is, like I said, this show, it's action-packed everything, but there is some horror aspects in this. It's kind of like gross, disturbing aspects in it. I would say the action-packed horror moments, if you want to say it, way overtake that by far.
Oh, yeah.
The story-wise of it is really hard to explain because, like, Uzi is the main character. That is the doorman, her dad, if you want to call that. It's her daughter, and then her mother is actually really important to the story later on, and then there's another girl with other random powers, but it's, man, dude, it's like hard to, it would take us over an hour to explain everything.
I mean, there's so much going on. I mean, I struggle on a first watch remembering names of characters. I mean, it's kind of hard to, you know, learn some of the characters because there's so much going on in the show. It's like you gotta you either pay attention to the, you know, the characters, or you pay attention to the story. You know,
so
you can't do both at the same time.
Get this story along, but try to simplify as much as I possibly can. Uzi and N are the two main characters, but N, V, and J are the 3 murder drones that were sent down to, and this is years after gone by. I mean, they have killed, probably thousands of humans, but the builder drones, if you want to call that. But N and V end up turning onto Uzi's side, so they're good. But the whole thing, like, Uzi discovered that she has powers like her mom. Like, Sin's been around forever. Apparently in this, and she's already like devoured other worlds, and like I said, she's overpowered. And
because I asked you in one of the scenes where it shows that a planet is blowing up, I think that is Earth, and unless I missed something, if I missed something where they mention, I guess like the, you know, home planet Earth or whatever,
because they're not on Earth right now.
But the thing is, it's never mentioned. But, you know, we see a planet that is pretty much being blown up and everything. I think that is Earth right there.
It could be. At the end, they were doing recaps like of humans of trying to stop Sin originally because because Uzi's mom originally had the powers and then she like passed it on. But like, it was really weird throughout though because she kept like all this stuff happened and actually when the world did explode because she actually said after that happened the world was like basically all the humans died off and then in the ones that were left like Sin took over everything and like killed all the rest of them, took over all the murder drones. Basically what the dad was going through is realizing with her mom and then her were having the same things, doing all these weird drawings and this weird obsession with it. Her mom knew, but Uzi at first didn't realize what was going on. And then, she eventually figures it out. But in V, and I'm turning to the good side, but Jay, on the other hand, it's been working for her the whole time. The whole story is Uzi trying to figure out what is going on. And she ends up slowly getting more possessed or taken over by Sin until the very finale.
That's where she's finally able to control like, what she has, pretty much. And
she, like, if you want to call evolving over time, though, because she keeps adapting, like, powers of some sort. But it's weird because all the murder drones, though, like I said, everybody in this show outside the builders are almost, like, immortal in this. Literally immortal. They have, like, give an example, like, in the second main character, in my opinion, or whatever you want to say, second main character. Dude, he died basically like 10 times in the show.
It was so funny because, like, I mean, there's so many scenes where, like, the scene where, he's being worked on that table and everything, and he was like, oh, yeah, over here.
He was like, no. Go right here with the
yeah, like, I mean, he was just asking for it, but, I mean, it doesn't matter because, unless you do something.
It's with the heart. Like,
it's with the heart,
If the heart gets destroyed, like, you saw that little bit of, like, power, like, whatever that little orb was, even if that, like, stayed alive, you're still living, and they'll like come back somehow.
And I mean, what's her name? I can't remember. The one who was, pretty much in charge of that operation right there. I mean, I don't think she was really meaning to kill him. I think what she was doing was just pretty much taking parts.
No, I think she went insane. I think she literally went insane because you realize she worked with Uzi's mom. She left him down there. So she went insane.
You're right about that, yeah.
So no. I don't think that has any correlation with trying to take parts. But over time, it's like Uzi's just trying to figure out what's going on. In V are trying to stop whatever Sin's doing. Then eventually you see Tessa comes back. But all the humans start off. It shows a recap of that when they go back in memories. Like Sin's trying to stop V's and N's memories from being wiped up. And Uzi ends up fixing that. And Sin the whole time has been in charge of everything. And then they don't realize that until the very end.
And then that pretty much sets up the last two episodes.
Yeah, it's just basically like just straight up fight scenes. In the last one is just the finale where Uzi finally meets her mom and stuff like that. Then you see the whole planet's getting destroyed and they start fighting and everything. Like if we really wanted to go into detail, it'd be hard. It's just take too long.
You would actually have to pay attention to the show and the details on that to kind of get a better understanding.
Sin actually does end up taking over Uzi until she does the weird thing at the very end, be like, she yells out like, "Hey, Uzi's mom, look what I drew!" It just stops Sin from Uzi, we want to say, but Sin and her, like she's about to. It sounds weird because what Sin does is devour planets, eats, and destroys. And she was about, it sounds weird to say, eat Uzi's mom, the heart, because that's what it sees, a bacteria, it's a virus.
Yeah.
It's weird, it's hard to explain, it's weird, but like I said, overall though, I think the action scenes and stuff takes over the show.
Yeah, for sure. It definitely keeps your interest, especially, I mean, yes, you get, a lot of story, like kind of more so like your episode 5 and 6. You get a little bit more story, but plus, more of the lore. But also, there's also more action scenes in those episodes than there is early on. I mean, you have the one fight scene in the first episode.
Man, there's one scene in the very first episode that's just messed up. That Uzi's dad left her for dead and just cares. Dude, this man, is a weird obsession with doors. Dude, he really goes up to your door and starts hugging it. He goes, sweet door. We're like, bro, what are you doing?
He was such a horrible character, in my opinion.
Dude, he left his daughter for dead before, she ended up shooting off In's head with the gun that she made, like the plasma gun, whatever, and like messed him up. In got his memories back, and then like almost killed her, but like he started to like change over, and then when he saw like he just left, he had her pinned up against the wall, and he was looking over, and she was looking straight at him, and she was like, help me, with like, don't just stand there. And all of a sudden he goes, doesn't say a word, and just shuts the door behind him. I'm just like, bro.
It was ridiculous. I was like, dang, no wonder why the mom left.
Oh yeah, I was like,
the mom did I mean, we saw like in the last episode where she was like, I don't like you, like get away from me, stuff like that. I hate you.
Ran off
because I think she saved him at some point.
Yeah, like barely.
Yeah,
like,
barely.
Scene.
And then she just like runs off like, I don't care what happens to you now.
Yeah, dude, he's just stupid character.
He was kind of pointless later in the season where, you know, I guess he was trying to redeem himself. Like he was showing the mom stuff and everything in that room.
He's trying to compare, but he goes, I don't know what the deal was with Uzi and her mom. And dude, they go like other side stuff, like they go on like this like camping trip, and then they go on this other side quest trying to go into the factories of JC Jensen's, like this big main company that's in charge of everything.
Yeah.
And then Sin, like I said, Sin was in the second to last episode, basically round this out finally. She ends up stopping Sin from taking over completely, but Sin ends up showing her true form, ends up pretty much destroying both of them to the point, but they still survive. She ends up blowing up the planet, starts devouring the planet, but then they get shoot off into space. Finale, Uzi finally meets her mom and gets inside the ship, hits her mom, and then goes flying off.
Yeah.
And then Sin ends up destroying the ship and stuff, but then, of course, like I told you, this episode is just straight. A little bit of horror scenes in this, ton of fighting, really good scenes in it, but then, of course, what's the big thing in this finale?
A lot of horror.
It's just straight horror moments. So they're like, okay, we're going to write this episode, but every 10 seconds, we're going to have to pause and do a slow scene of epic stuff happening for a solid 3 seconds.
Everything epic in the background.
It's just slow motion. Okay, we're writing this episode. We don't care about development. We just want to do the fight scenes, and every 3 seconds, we're going to have Sin say something or Uzi say something. Slow-mo. It's just bright colors, slow-mo in the background.
It was really
cool
good show.
though. This finale, in my opinion, outdid the
Amazing
Digital
100%.
Circus by a mile.
I mean, you pretty much had episodes. What was it? It was 9 episodes, right?
It's 8.
8. Okay, it is 8 in Digital Circus. So you had your first.
No, that's 9. I thought you were talking about Murder.
No, I was just saying, like in the Digital Circus, like you had your first 8 episodes. Finale. And then you had the finale. It's like, I mean, honestly, there was so much that you could have done.
Yeah, they
crammed everything into that one episode. Make it 10 episodes.
Yeah, they could have made it 10 episodes. And like the biggest thing, you showed Jax abstracting off scene. That was the biggest letdown of the finale.
Well, that was the thing. I mean, with the whole that beach episode. I mean, there was the foreshadowing there that it was going to happen.
Yeah. And it all could have been prevented because he walked up to Pommy and said, hey, need to talk. Basically, he didn't say it, but like he needs to talk. He was like, never mind. He walked off. Could have all been prevented right there. So they have their big, huge fight scene. Sin is basically destroying everything. I mean, dude, she is like a universal threat in this.
Oh,
and
yeah.
you think like Uzi and her are the two biggest, like most powerful characters in this whole show. And I told you watching this finale, I was like, you think they're powerful? Just wait until the very end, and you'll see what happens.
Right.
There's so many points in this show that they basically die. Like, N dies in the finale alone like 5 times. They end up all coming together, finding Jay and Sin, and they're all fighting each other. Then Sin pulls off the biggest horror moment right before they all come together. But then she basically jumps down right in front of 3 of them, and she goes, you know what? This is annoying. And she goes, Uzi, doesn't matter. You're not here. Whatever. And like I said, the biggest moment of the whole show. 20 of her the tentacles come out of the earth. It's not tentacles, like giant beams of light, and then like her powers, whatever, and it just goes black and yellow. It's just like freeze frame for like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
I'm just like, okay, man. I told you, I was like, there's that one scene in this that it's going to be like, okay, we knew what their intentions was this whole time. And then you finally get into the big fight that all goes down. Uzi ends up defeating her by somehow, in my opinion, I don't know how, ends up guessing the perfect spot, just turns around and where she glitches and grabs her in the chest, pulls out her heart, but then it magically causes a giant black hole, and they're standing right there, and she's somehow still alive. Uzi ends up like powers as similar as her. I think Sin's more powerful, but she has similar powers, and she ends up destroying with like, dude, like I said, they're overpowered. Do they have these giant like null things? Like I said, everything's computer and virus stuff related, but it's like this gigantic black hole null power that can just destroy anything basically.
Yeah.
And Uzi ends up destroying it. Even if you destroy the heart, it's got like the source of everything, like that ball of energy. Like that's the main core of everything.
Yeah.
And like Sin is still alive trying to get it, but then, like I said, you thought them two were powerful. Uzi ends up eating that and absorbing the power.
I was shocked whenever I saw that. I was like, did she really just do that?
Yeah, even like Sin, you saw Sin's face after she did it. She was like, what?
Yeah,
what did you just do?
Yeah. There was a lot of confusion in that moment. I mean, I was confused. I was like, wait, did she really just do that?
When I first saw it, I was like, wait, what? Well, wait, what just happened?
Yeah.
And like, well, also too, before you end up watching just a couple scenes later, you're like, because she ends up like Sin's her body, like main thing and everything ends up disintegrating, like obviously going away. She ends up passing out. The black hole goes off and everything finally settles down, but she like passes out. So I'm like, okay, did she just die?
Yeah.
Like, actually like ends up, but no, she actually doesn't. The weird thing, how like, give an example here. Like in Doomsday, how we're going to see, and also too in the comics here, Doom absorbs the Beyonder's powers and he becomes God Emperor Doom. Take that in the same aspect. Uzi absorbs Sin's powers, but also too, like Doctor Doom's already extremely powerful. So when you add two extremely powerful things together, and in this case, in Murder Drones' universe, add the two most strongest things together, what does that make? Literally becomes the most powerful being in the entire universe.
Yeah.
And like it literally shows it too because her eyes are normally purple, and then it turns because Sin's color, I know we didn't say this, yellow. That's her main thing. Color is all yellow, and hers is all purple. Her eyes changes to purple to yellow. And then it's V starts freaking out. They're like, what is going on? And she was like, she started pulling a gun at her. It was like, wait a minute, stand back here.
I mean, I would too. Like, anything could have happened right there.
Uzi ends up finding out by looking at it and like seeing the reflection go, oh, this is sick. So then it's so weird how all of this happens because they're all kids in this show, and they go back to school, and like all the kids in this school, like over half of them have died. There's a teacher who just doesn't give a crap in this show and be like, takes them on the field trip.
The bus driver, or not the bus driver, but the person kind of in charge of picking up the kids.
He goes, this is Uzi idea. He's pouring down snow at this log cabin. He sits on the roof and goes, this is Uzi idea. And he goes, why are we out? And he goes, the school doesn't want to pay me. I don't care. We're staying here. Pulls out a chair on the roof and sits there.
He literally on the bus on the way back to the school or whatever, and he was like, all right, we're missing 6 kids. What's going on?
And B looked at him and goes, I get hungry.
I get hungry.
And he goes, okay, fine. I was just asking. And he turned around like nothing happened. Uzi ends up destroying some of them because like I said, it ends up progressing towards the finale with all that stuff with her powers, and then Sin like slowly taking over. And then like In and just V is just like, oh, whatever. It just like ends up destroying. So especially B dude is just like, I don't care. It's just like, oh yeah, we're missing some kids.
It's almost like a horror like side episode or something like that. Like almost like it's just its own horror movie episode.
Yeah, but dude, the teacher, even at the very end, man, it's just, he doesn't care. When the world literally exploded, you saw that like even when everything was getting pulled down to the center, dude, he was just standing there. Even like, bruh, he looked outside, was holding onto the desk, and just put his head down with no expression whatsoever.
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
he walked outside the door, and just stood there, and like with, like I said, all the glowing like yellow beams, whatever that was, like it was Sin's like power, but like it literally went over there, like kind of smacked him in the face and looked at it, and then he literally shrugged his shoulder like, What are you doing? It just like, right, this guy did not care whatsoever.
Right.
And so it's weird because they're all in school and they all go back to school. It's like nothing happened. Like literally nothing happened at all. And then she shows up finally at the very end. She goes, now I can do this after the presentation. And like it shows her power and Sin's power at the same time. And it's like, okay, it shows you like on a whole nother level right there. Might as well clarify this. Uzi and start liking each other throughout the whole thing, and then yes, they do become a couple at the very end. Yes, you saw the storyline progressing, and then they do make a music video, stuff that kind of, if you want to say it, a sequel. I think the way they ended it off right before the credits, like it shows Uzi stuff after everything is done, but it shows that Sin is still alive though. Like,
in the mirror, as the I guess whatever the tail thing that they have,
like she's still alive, but Uzi's obviously in control. But honestly, that's where you could take a season 2 if you really wanted to go and see like what could happen.
I like that you brought up the sequel. The one thing
The
that
music video, I mean,
I guess if you count it as a sequel, it's just a little.
it
little
basically adds on
clip.
to it's like,
But anyways, I was a little disappointed because they really made Uzi look weak in that video.
well, it's a music.
I know,
video.
but they made her look weak. I know you can't make her look too OP, especially with the the double the power that she has.
That's the whole easily rundown that we could do. I know this has already been long, but that's basically the shortest version of the show that we can literally say. And now to finally finish this off, ratings. We gave the Amazing Digital Circus an 8.5 in that range.
Somewhere around that.
8.5,
Yeah.
I think like 8.5. We said that we really like this show, and now, like I said, Murder Drones to me is just right above it. So finish this off. What is your rating of this show?
I give it a 9.
I would give the exact same thing. I think it is a 9. I think the action scenes in this is incredible. Of course, like you said,
I just think the show was done right.
It's hard to, if honestly, it could be a little bit higher rating if it was a little bit easier to follow, maybe a little bit, but it's not a big deal. Like it's easily like a show that you can easily go back and watch again because the longest episode is like 25 minutes.
It's the first episode. The first episode is the longest episode.
The finale is literally 20 minutes long. I mean, it's not long
I think wasn't the episode before that actually a little longer? It was like 25
No, it was
minutes?
like 17, 18 minutes.
Was it 17, 18 minutes?
It was like 17 minutes long. I give it an 9. I think this show is just right above the Amazing Digital Circus.
And again, I mean, at the end of the day, it's based off of what you like in a story, or what type of shows you like to watch. Like if you want something more action,
definitely watch this.
The Murder Drones is the one you want to go with. If you want more of like a story, very in depth, like you said, mystery. Like there is a lot of mystery behind certain parts of the story.
Yeah.
Then the Digital Circus is a good watch.
Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you again on the Titan Center podcast.